So this is not a deer hunter friendly kind of day. I don't even think it's a deer friendly kind of day. It's snowing sideways right now. The wind's blowing 30 and it's 23 degrees according to my truck. It was forecasted to blow 20 and to be 27. So a lot colder than what it was supposed to be. We woke up this morning very cold and did not want to go get in a tree stand because it was dangerous and very chilly. And we didn't really think the deer would be out moving in this. And they may have changed their minds. We didn't see a lot of deer this morning because we went and glassed a couple canyons and stuff. But driving around, we have seen 3 different bucks out running around, just cruising. And one of them, the last one, was probably a 3-year-old plus. So we don't really know what we're gonna do the rest of the day. We're trying to formulate a plan. It all sounds good until you look out there and see snowflakes the size of English peas flying through the air sideways. I think right now we're gonna truck scout this property that we're on a little bit more, this permission place, and then head back to camp and maybe just regroup and try to formulate a plan for the afternoon.
Because typically when we've hunted this property in the past, and this morning as well, we didn't see any movement until a little bit later. About 8:10, we started seeing bucks and chasing does and stuff, and since then there's been several. We haven't gotten footage of all of them, but I was fixing to shoot a big old gnarly half rack with a floppy ear. It was angled towards us, and I don't know if his ear was deaf on that side or whatever, but he just acted like he couldn't hear any grunt calls or really any rattling. He stopped at one time for rattling. Maybe he was just focused, who knows, but we've seen him for a while off and on, and it seems like he's gone away. Anyway, it's really cold, so we're gonna stick it out a little bit longer, try to eat some frozen Pop-Tarts, keep our spirits up, and hopefully shoot a big cruising buck here in the next 30 minutes or so.
We're going to go check a card that's been out for 24 hours, but this camera has been over a pile of corn. We got permission on this big chunk of land that we drove around a lot on the other day. Learned that a lot of it was heavily grazed, but we did find one little honey hole, we think. So we're going to check this card, and it's going to determine pretty much how we spend our next 24 hours. If there's a giant buck on here, we're probably going to throw a lot of eggs in this basket. If there's not, we're going to go back and hunt stuff we've been hunting, but there's a good a chance as any that this place holds a giant buck, and we're going to check and see if he's on this place. This place.
65. It's on a 3 photo burst. So
It's pretty good. For 24 hours.
20 something pictures.
20 something occurrences. Who knows how many big bucks? Oh no.
That's a
Oh! What?
it's a shooter buck.
No way.
Yeah, it is.
Let me see. I can't see nothing. I'll see it's a coon. Oh! There he is! All I can see is the coons.
Oh, he's big, dude.
He's real big.
He's after dark too. Which is
656. That's not too late. Oh, he's towed.
Oh, look at all the stuff.
All right, Casey and I have split up for the evening hunt. I'm back here where we were this morning, and he's on a piece of private. We're hoping just to kind of maximize our time up here and our efficiency. Hopefully I can see that big half rack and get a shot at him, and hopefully he can hunt a big wide 8-point that we've seen on this piece of property that he's on. So it's a little bit windy, it's still pretty chilly, but it's a lot more tolerable than it was this morning. Hopefully the deer are still going to be out moving this evening. Hopefully I can see them with all this wind and get a call out to them that they can hear to get them to my location.
I'm gonna do my best to do a quick interview while there's no deer here. We've got a corn pile out. Just in one spot in the place. Not really trying to shoot bucks on the corn. We're trying to concentrate the does, and it's working. I've had 2 groups of 2 does in here. stand. Well, not my stand, but I was sitting in somebody else's stand who had their stand in there, and I thought, well, no need in bringing my stuff in if there's a stand here already. Sat in the stand. Dude walked all the way in and politely kicked me out. So I don't know if he has the right to do that or not, but I didn't really want to jack with it. So anyway, went right up the road to a permission piece that we've got, and we haven't even stepped foot on. So I'm gonna check it out, maybe shoot a deer. Was making a move to get a good shot on him, about 10-yard move, and I mean, he just wasn't where he was headed. He was running over to this tree line, and he was close. I don't think I spooked him. I don't think there's a way I could have spooked him. I was in a ditch, but there's still a doe out here where he was at, and another doe now, and then there's 3 more does over here a ways. So I mean, I don't think I ran him off, but I mean, who knows? Maybe they were glad to see him leave and they just kept on beating. Usually when a deer flags, everything gets weird, but nothing's weird right now. The only thing weird for me is that there isn't a buck in the field now. The same buck was coming behind me. He had gone through this little line of cottonwoods, turned around, and come in to check this line, I guess, was coming straight back to me. And he kind of saw me as I was moving to get above this brush. I was moving up so that I could shoot out of this brush. He kind of saw me, but he kept coming. He thought I was a doe, I guess. I barely got drawn because I was in a real awkward position, real low. Pulled up, guessed him at a little over 30. I think he was closer to 40. I'm shooting a real heavy arrow. And it dropped and didn't hit him. Shot underneath him. Which makes me real sad because that's a big buck. I don't know if you could tell really in the first shots that I had of him, but like, that's a big buck. He's a heavy, heavy 10-point. What a roller coaster.
coaster of events this afternoon has been after getting kicked out of the tree on Public. I can't believe I did that, man. I should have found a way to range, I guess, but in that situation, it just got hectic real quick. I don't think there was any way I could have ranged, but there's still does out in the field. I watched him for several minutes. Spooked pretty bad, so that's the way it goes, I guess, when you get out here and just try to make something happen. Sometimes something almost happens, and a lot of times it doesn't quite all the way happen. Well, got my arrow. Don't know where the knock went, but from my arrow, I ranged 45 yards to basically the tree. There's a good chance that, as weak as my arms were when I went to shoot after that draw that I took that was really difficult, that I just kind of dropped my bow hand as I shot and ended up shooting low. I think he was pretty far too, but I know it ripped the milo stalks like right below him. So I knew I missed low. No blood on my arrow or anything, which I didn't think there would be because I knew I had missed pretty far low. But I think a combination of just weak arms after the draw, dropping the hand on the shot, the bow hand on the shot, and probably him being probably 7 or 8 yards farther than what I kind of guessed him for, and just the chaos that ensued in the whole situation caused me to miss low. And that's what happens when you're out here just trying to make things happen, I guess. The tree stand thing is, I prefer it. Anyway, gotta go break the news to KC. Just realized a lot of that was out of focus, so I apologize for that. I'm gonna go meet KC and get the story from him. I'm hoping he shot a buck because there was a lot of action over where he was at last night. But man, what a roller coaster of events. Just crazy how I can't even hardly explain it to you, or I haven't explained it to you, but I go from hunting a piece of private to having a guy messing around by where I'm gonna hunt, and so I just decide, hey, it's no big deal. I'll go over to Public. I get in a guy's stand who hasn't been there, and instead of carrying my own stand, he hung in the same tree that I hang in over there, and so I get in his stand. He kicks me out politely. I've got like an hour left to hunt. Come over here. As soon as I get down that tree line, a buck pops out. It's a big time shooter. And then next thing you know, I'm hunting this guy. I'm calling to him a little bit. He's not acting like he hears it much. And then he busts up to the tree line. 15 minutes later, after losing him, I couldn't figure out where he was because I was moving my position and jockeying to get a shot. When he came to the tree line, turn around and he's coming behind me, and he's heavy and just coming right at me. And so, of course, as I'm moving 4 feet to get where I don't have to shoot through grass, he kind of sees me, but he thinks I'm a doe, and he comes at me. So I barely get my bow drawn and pull up and judge it for, I guess it at 32. I think he was closer to 40 because I found my arrow at 45. It's a heavy arrow, so its pin gap is pretty large. It hit all these stalks of milo below him and knocked it down pretty quick. But anyway, knew I'd missed. I think a combination of having a weak bow hand after the draw and then just also being just weak because I got a huge buck staring at me at 40 yards, it just caused me to drop in my follow through and shoot low. So I think that combination with the guess of 8 yards or so difference at that range just caused me to shoot low, and that's what it is. And I gotta go tell KC the story now. Hey guys, make sure and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you can follow these series as they come out here on YouTube. I'm still just in disbelief that happened. After editing that video, it still hurts inside, but I am headed to Kansas bright and early in the morning for redemption.